Morning, folks. Morning. I feel like I'm giving a press conference here. All the mics. So, for people who don't know me, I'm Michael. It's good to be here with you this morning and practice with you. Rath Tabivat asked me to share a Dhamma reflection this morning. So, Ashanda once told me that he once asked his teacher Longpo Tien, if I no longer suffer, does that mean I'm an arahant? And Longpo Tien replied, it's better not to be anything. And this idea of not becoming anything is at the heart of the Buddha's path to awakening and the cessation of suffering. The Buddhist concept of suffering, which is not the same as pain, it's the inability to be okay with things as they are. That concept of dukkha, our suffering, is what's called dukkha in Pali, is tied to becoming something. And the reason that's so is because all conditioned things are impermanent and subject to change and ultimately uncontrollable. So, everything is arising, is changing, and it passes away. This body and mind that I call Michael is also a conditioned thing, and it arises, it changes, it passes away. The same is true for the bodies and minds of all the loved ones that are part of my life. They are also conditioned things. So when we become something that is subject to that immutable law of existence, then we suffer. And also what we attach to, what we identify with and attach to or become is a fabrication, really. So we attach to fabrications. Michael is a fabrication. It's just a name that was given to this this particular stream of physical and mental phenomena. And it has no, Michael, awareness cannot directly contact Michael because it's just an idea or a samuti in Pali. So, and an idea, has fabrication is not real, right? It has no life. I mean, it's real in a certain sense, in a relative sense, but a concept is not alive. It's not worthy of attachment. And this is true virtually everything we attach to. We don't attach to it. A phenomena, we attach to the idea of it. So fortunately, the Buddha shows us a way to avoid becoming, falling in the trap of becoming and being overtaken by dukkha, suffering. he taught us a way to do that that still allows this body and mind called Michael to go to work and love its family and care for its family and come to the meditation center and talk with you. And the path he taught, the antidote to dukkha, well, it's not like adopting some philosophical view, like that everything is emptiness and Michael isn't real. That's just kind of adopting that philosophical stance is not a solution, because then you just become something that's telling itself it's nothing, right? Or and you just might end up acting weird, you know. The path that the Buddha taught is to have continuity of mindfulness of the body and mind, to watch over this body and mind with that non-judgmental awareness that is mindfulness. When the body and mind are watched over with mindfulness, there is no dukkha. When the body and mind, when you become the body and mind, there is dukkha instantly. You know. So it's the path is very simple. It's a simple idea, and it's not a complicated idea. We just but while the body and mind and conditioned phenomena are constantly changing and passing away, the knowingness that experiences it doesn't. And so the path is to kind of return the knowingness to its job, which is to know, not to become. And the knowingness is just knowing the phenomena that comprises this, what I think of as Michael. Then there's no dukkha. When it becomes Michael, then there's birth, old age, sickness, sorrow, limitation, pain, fear, and death, and all that stuff. So when we're mindfully observing, we stop becoming, right? At least for a time, and probably, some of you have been practicing for quite some time. Probably you've experienced it when you stop becoming and just are aware of what's taking place right here. Everything becomes lighter than when you own it and become it. So you can verify this for yourself pretty easily, I think. We drop our identification and just knowing this unfolding is happening. The dukkha slips away, right? It drops away. And though it's simple, it's a simple idea, there's not all these secret teachings or anything, or intricate things you got to do. Just let knowingness know instead of becoming. Then, by simple, it's not easy either, because we've gotten addicted to becoming. Ajahn sometimes will use the analogy of quitting smoking as an analogy, or giving up suffering. It's to give up a smoking habit it's hard, and it's like I've been smoking Michael my entire life, right? So it's hard to stop smoking, And Ajahn said that Luang Tien helped him quit smoking. He used to smoke when he was a young monk, and the way he gave it up is becoming aware of the suffering inherent in it. Just like someone who gives up smoking, they're not going to give it up till they become disgusted with it themselves, right? So it's not easy to give it up, again, because of the habit, but it takes determination and persistence. But everybody can. Everybody can stop smoking Frank or Michael or Andy or whoever, right? And the way to do that, the sort of non-violent way to do that, is simply to watch over this thing, and you see that, there's nothing really there worth becoming, and there's no downside to it either, to giving up becoming. And, this body and mind can still, again, go about its business, can still go to work, earn money to pay the mortgage, love and care for its family. It's not, nothing bad happens when we stop becoming. So anyway, I'll stop there. Maybe we can have a conversation together for that. How are we all doing this morning?
So the idea of not becoming doesn't mean you don't pursue your goals.
Don't what?
Does it mean you don't pursue your goals, or you?
No, we still have goals, but it's not. It's.
This could be expanded.
It's about this body and mind still has goals. It's still it has to drive back to Massachusetts tomorrow or Monday morning, and it has to do some things for the center up there, and it's planning to go away with its family next year on a vacation. So that the family needs. So it's still it's just that you're not. You don't need to attach to it. You don't need to own it. You don't need to. Not becoming something, doesn't mean that nothing matters, right? It just means that when it's time to let go, you can let go. And there's always, ultimately, we have to let go of everything in its time, right? So if you become it, then there's no way out. There's no way out at all if you become it. If you allow that this is just the unfolding of reality is taking place, including making plans and taking care of business, then if it falls apart, it falls apart. You take care of it when you can, and if eventually it falls apart, everything falls apart. And, it's better not to be that which falls apart. I don't know if that makes sense. It's hard to think about it, so I encourage, the solution isn't to figure it out. The solution is simply to get the knowingness to go back to knowing, and just see what happens. See for yourself what happens. And this practice is just about that, right? It's just, there's no magic in these movements or anything. it's just a simple way to encourage the awarenessing of the body and mind in a continuous way. Not just sort of like when I'm sitting there like this and then I drop it and go off, but we're learning to do it, that it's possible to be continuous with it. We're sitting here in the Dharma hall and you're driving home, we're learning the practice of the eyes open, with the body moving. So the solution isn't philosophical, it's practical,
I thank you. I think that's speaks to me very clearly. I think that in my life I have tried to be, exempt from being nature. Saying that nature is out there and it's doing nasty things to me. There's wasps, there is death, there is illness, there are unfriendly people, and I am separate from all that. And I have to tame it. And I have to be special. I have to reinvent this me, this becoming, as you call it. And in the beginning and the middle and the end, there's only Dharma. But we separate ourselves out from it. We try to control it. And by controlling it, we're putting up our castle with our fortifications and our walls and not letting life speak to us or nature be nature. It's not out there versus here. It's continuous. We came from nature. We came from, before there was nature on earth, we came from some billions of years before, when there was dust and heat and only whatever there was. But somehow wanting to say, well, this only counts, this here only counts, then I get into a battle and suffering and protect my ego and build it in a million other ways.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, we didn't just come from nature, we are nature in this moment. Yeah, totally right. And you can't harm nature, really. When a tree dies, nature doesn't cry. It's just it's just nature happening.
I think with my Mahasati practice of the hand movements, I try to figure it out forever and ever and a day. And I just thought, well, this is my mind, the mind controlling this body and not doing it wholeheartedly, but wanting to get something out, wanting to become, as you call it. And at some moment it's just the knowing of this movement, of any movement, that makes it a continuously changing, alive world.
Thank you, Frank.
In your book, Awareness in Action, you mentioned the term existential suffering.
Term what?
Existential suffering, subject to human mortality. Could you clarify a little bit more?
Yeah, so there's the kind of ordinary suffering of I don't like this pain in my back, or I'm feeling, I wish I had a sweater on right now, or I'm feeling tired, and you're not okay with it, and I want it to be better. That's like kind of everyday suffering, and that's the suffering that secular mindfulness training is good at helping people with. But it doesn't get to the existential suffering is the suffering of I don't want to die. I know I have to die, and I don't want to die, and I'm trying to pretend like it's not going to happen. I don't want to lose the people I love, but I'm going to lose them, and everybody knows that at some level, but they try to push it down. And that's what I mean by existential suffering, that the suffering of life and death itself. And I have taught for many years secular mindfulness as a psychologist, and I think it's great, but I don't see that as helping people tackle that ultimate suffering that is present for everybody. It's a shame to go through life, bound by that suffering. It's not necessary. So for me, this, finding the way out of that is the most important thing, and that's why I really I fell in love with this lineage when these monks first came on. Tavi first brought these monks over from Thailand 33 years ago, whatever it was. This path of I started by Long Kin was always about you can solve this problem completely for yourself. So it's not just about, and that's what the Buddha was teaching. I don't think the Buddha was teaching to help people be more comfortable in samsara, but to be able to get away from it or escape from it. That's what motivated me to practice, to change what the practice I was doing, which was still a very good practice, because of the clear promise and that I believed, and then was able to in my own practice, confirm that there is a way out, and it's not, and it's there for everybody. It's just returning knowingness to knowing rather than owning and becoming. So anything else we want to talk about before we go off to our weekends? Is anybody staying for the retreat today? Any other thoughts, or it could be unrelated to the topic I raised this morning?
I find that I meditate a lot better by not moving. It's like if I move my body, I have a slight hyperactivity, I think. And I find I get into a better state of meditation by not moving. Is any comments or anything? Is that normal or?
So it's okay to sit still sometime, but the risk of that being your meditation practice is that you kind of become attached to that calmness that you feel when you sit still and watch the breath or whatever. And it's not, you're becoming attached to that state, It's going to go away as soon as you go back to your life, right? So, if you're agitated, it's okay to sit still for a few minutes, but the central point of the Buddhist path is to, and Vipassana in particular, is to be aware of what the body and mind are doing, regardless of what it is they're doing, and to what's your name?
Never.
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 And
Definitely.
Yeah, DEVOA. Never.
So, regardless of what Devin is doing, running, going on an outing with his family, or going to work, or whatever, you can. The practice would be to just see that it's possible to be mindful of what is happening, when Devin is going about his business, and that's how the mind awakens. That's how the mind sees, I don't have to attach to what Devin is doing, or attach to the idea that he's pursuing. He can still have a goal. That doesn't have to be define me. So, I guess I'm not being very articulate now, but if your central sort of practice is simply to create a calm state that disappears when you get up and go out into the world, it's just not that useful, And so we're learning how the mind can be calm regardless of what's happening, regardless of what you're doing. And that's just through training that, kind of related to what I was saying this morning, training awareness to be the observer of what's happening in the body and mind, rather than to kind of rush into it and become all fully identified with it. That makes sense? Anything else? Other suggestions, Tavi?
I feel like sometimes for myself, and I only get glimpses of this, that it's about realizing that you have limited control, right? Because that's sort of the concept, whether it's existential or whether it's just day-to-day stuff. The real suffering comes when, things happen that you're not happy about. It could be medical, it could be something business, it could be personal. And maybe this is too philosophical, but at some point, you with me, I get the glimpse. It does not happen on a regular basis. I would like it to, but you realize, back to the concept of the nature of phenomenon, that things are impermanent, they're uncontrollable, anatta. You don't really have control, right? I mean, that is the trickiest thing, because the way our culture, we're very used to being in control of everything, right? So, and then when you want to have control and you can't have control, that creates the suffering, right? Things don't go the way you want them to go. Whereas at some point, if you can, and again, maybe this is too philosophical, but you get that glimpse of, hey, that's just, everything's impermanent, things are changing. It's not me, there's only so much I can do.
Right.
So I'm not going to get wrapped up. I'll do the best I can, but ultimately, this is going to happen, that's going to happen, I'm going to get sick, I'm going to die. It's just is what it is.
Yeah.
So it's.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, it's our culture makes it hard because we're taught to be responsible for everything.
And it's not nihilistic. I still feel like in the beginning it felt kind of like someone asked the question, "Do you not have any goals?" In the beginning, I could see how you kind of feel like that. Well, do I just check out? Like, what's the point? It's not that, right? It's, no, I'm gonna still have goals and do what I think I want to do that's good and take care of my family. But at the end of the day, you're someone along for the ride.
We still step out of the way when a car is coming in.
Right. Yeah.
We take care of things.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I guess what I took from what you're saying is, if you don't become attached to particular things, you don't always have to die in that field. But it doesn't mean you don't execute.
Right.
But you can accept the failure and the need to pull away. Or that just attaching yourself to something. So, be all in and all. As in, for example, relationships. Some people attach themselves in a relationship becomes toxic and they're that toxicity rather than be able to deal with it.
Yeah, I think so. Okay, well, thank you all.
thank you for that.
It's so important that we come together to encourage each other in our practice, again, because the world out there is saying you're responsible. Fix it. This is the middle path, right? It's not that you don't have any responsibility, but also it's nature also happening, right? At the ultimate level, we can't control nature. So when we come together, we kind of help each other to stay engaged with our practice. That's important. So thank you. Do we have anything else we want to know?
Yeah, just one thing we were talking about, maybe that we are thinking of creating a 3-day retreat in September. And so if you are interested in that, that is a way of continuing our practice and going deeper. We'd like to hear from you and say, yes, I would like to participate in that.
It'd be the last weekend. I know some people might be traveling, but it's the thought thinking is it start Friday night after dinner, and then all day Saturday, and we'd supply dinner. People bring their own lunch, but we'd supply a meal on Saturday night, and then end Sunday before dinner.
Do it here, or we do it at?
We do it here.
At the last weekend of September.
Yeah. You down for that?
Yeah, I'll be here. That would work for me well.
And then also, just a reminder that we are here through our practice of generosity, that we all, sharing gratitude, what we receive here and what we give here. This is a give and take. Your presence here is a gift, and also sustaining this place is a gift to each other and to ourselves. So if you feel so inclined, please remember the Dana box, the donation box, or there's also other ways of doing it online. And that's it. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Have a good weekend, everybody.
Thank you.
Prasad Dashanda.